Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome you all to this presentation by Kemkar Capital, and thank you all for coming along. As you may know, I have recently just graduated with my Bachelor of Engineering Honors and Bachelor of Commerce, and I recently joined Kemkar Capital in the last few months, and I'm really excited for what we're about to show you today. Now, before we start, I'd like to go through some housekeeping. First of all, there's some water available on the sides, as most of you already know now. And the bathrooms are there around the corner. And there's fire exits through that side and that side, just in case we need it. Now, I know you will all have questions. It's a detailed presentation. And if you do have questions, we encourage you to ask them, but please could you hold them in until the end of the presentation? There will be some time to go through them in more detail. And finally, I ask that all of you please put your phones on silent so we can enjoy the presentation without any rings. Now, the way this presentation is structured is in two parts. First, Janae Shah, a real estate agent from Barfoot & Thompson, will give you an update on the real estate market, particularly sales of new houses in Newland, and he'll go into detail about how the market is performing, as well as talking about the results that we've had at Kemkar Capital and how the customers who have bought our houses have found the quality and have found the experience. Next, my father, Manish Kemkar, will talk about his journey as a developer and a businessman, the formation of Kemkar Capital, the offer that we're presenting today, and the next best steps. And hopefully by the end of this presentation, you'll have a clear understanding of who we are, what we're trying to do here, and the opportunity that we're presenting. I hope this opportunity is attractive for your goals. Now, first of all, I'd like to call up Janae Shah to speak about the real estate market.
Good afternoon, Namaste, Jai Jinendra, Kia ora. Friends and family here today for Kemkar Capital. It's a privilege to be part of Kemkar Capital Group. I have worked for Manish Kemkar for nearly over 1.5 to 2 years time, and I have sold quite a few of his brand new property development projects. It's been a journey, and today in front of you, I'm not going to talk a lot about the details of how's the property market doing, because I think most of us are already aware what's happening. Today you are here because you know what's happening in the marketplace at the moment. But I would briefly cover what's happening. So this is the latest update from REINZ, Real Estate Institute of New Zealand, and I don't know, are you able to read it all? Kavita, are you able to read it?
It's very easy.
Okay, I'll try to make it readable for you. But the average median price in Auckland market in October has crossed $1,045,000. So that's an increase of nearly 5%, 4.8 to 5% from its previous benchmark. The number of days property stays on the market has gone terribly down. The number of listings available on the market are less. So there is a shortage of supply. And it's a fantastic market to be in today than before, than ever. And when it was COVID situation, it was lockdown, people were worried that okay, it's all dooming and it's all going down, stay away from the market. All the economic forecasts were, against the trend. But if you read the same economist comments today, then it will be the same person talking, but totally different. So that's how the market has changed. Particularly today, the project is more about 28 Croydon Road in Newland. And that's why I would like to cover some statistics of Newland market. So if you compare in March 2019 to September 2020, what has been changed in Newland? the median value has gone up from 736,700 to 791. The number of sales from 57 to 70 per month. Median days on market has gone down from 26 to 19. So any property in New Lane goes on market most likely to sell within 19 days. And number of listings from 67 to only 43. So that's the shortage of supply. Peter Thompson, the director of Bowden Thompson, every month he puts market update, and in this time market update, he has mentioned that now the trend has gone so well that the number of properties per month getting sold by Buffett & Thompson is making every month records and further records. If you look at Calvin Davidson CoreLogic, he is mentioning about, we are not able to read the presentation properly, so sorry about that. The number of first home buyers in the market and people who are using their existing equity from the home, that activity has contributed more than 50% of transactions in last quarter. So, and if you read at Bindi, she is the CEO of REINZ. She is mentioning about the money is so cheap, it's easy to borrow, the rate of interest is record time low. People, expats are returning to New Zealand. And the way money has been saved by retail families due to no overseas travel, no further expenses, everybody is around the home, no traveling. They are putting their money into the property market. So all these are adding to what's happening in the property market. I have sold quite a few Manish's property. Number 11 Kaveka Street, that's the photo of lot number 5 at 11 Kaveka Street. There were 5 lots, and I just wanted to cover that how the buyers, how the market, how the people feedback about what he does. So I would just like to show you a little video.
I was lost and incomplete. I didn't know where I should go. 1,000 pounds upon my soul, and it came.
Hi, this is Jinesha from Buffett & Thompson Newlyn branch. We are a high-performing team of 5, number 3 in the region, selling 1 property every 4 days. Today, at 11 Kaveka Street in Newlyn, convenient location, we are bringing you this fantastic opportunity. It's brand new, low maintenance, lock up and leave proposition. Come, let's have a look. Because of 3-bedroom brand new and location, these properties are very popular and selling quickly. Please call me on 02-2500-2500 before it's too late, or please come and visit my open home in the weekend. Thank you. So I would like to share what has been my experience. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
I don't hear you. So what has been my experience with working with the Kemkar group? I'll just quote some of the feedback from individual retail people so that you relate what's out there, because I've been working with quite a few developments and developers, Indian developers, Chinese developers, Kiwi developers, but I wouldn't be exaggerating if I could say this: Manish Kemkar stands out in number of ways. So that's lot number 1 at 11 Kalika Street, the buyer's Jay and Andrew's comment. It's a quality home with fine finishing and good craftsmanship. Brand new homes, developments when they are happening for a first home buyers, lot of developments are like, tuck, you don't want to do too much into it, and they just cookie cutter approach of standard development. But going into the detail is important. Not a lot of developers give a welcome gift. So as a first home buyer, when you take the key, you go inside the house and there is a big welcome gift on the kitchen bench top where there are some sort of gifts, but other than that, important thing is there is a instruction manual of how to maintain your weatherboard, how to maintain your property, where are the key connections, what you need to do to look after your property well. All these things make really personal touch for a first home buyer. And they would never hesitate to recommend, hey, Kemkar's Construction's another development, let's go for it. So basically, this unique approach of doing things as if I am the first home buyer, what I would like to do, what I would like to receive, what I would like to see, and that's what he's trying to achieve. So there was another open home buyer who came to the open home. Gina, life is those little things we do. All these are actual conversations which I want to highlight today. So just we understand, because all the numbers part Manish is gonna cover anyway. Life is those little things we do. Life is in detail. You know, Gina? Did you notice that pop-up power outlet on the kitchen bench top? Now it's a development, 4 units are together. The middle unit is the sandwich. So there is no enough outlet and wiring facilities on the kitchen. So Manish could not put the plug, the electric point there. And he just put in the kitchen, just pull up plug. Now this little thing, there were other plugs nearby, he didn't have to do this, but just a little thing that, if I'm doing something grinding or something, that's a great thing. And also, at the end of the kitchen and beginning of the lounge, there is extra space. He doesn't have to put a cupboard or a storage area there, but a curvature storage area there. All these little things, you know what I mean? For a first home buyer, for the people who are buying the stock, for them this is important. So, and also the curved shelf storage at the end, thoughtful of it. I have heard number of times the conversation between Chris, the project manager who works for Manish, and himself. And I have never seen they are doing any shortcuts, no compromise. So I was there, I just parked my car and 11 Kemkar Street driveway was not built. And what happened, there was some conversation happening about the driveway needs to be slightly up and the curve needs to be, the curve needs to be sharpened up. So Chris said, driveway needs the curve in a particular way, unnecessary extra cost. What do you want to do, Manish? He also insisted as a project manager, no shortcuts, no compromise. These keywords, just I hear and I feel, there is some quality going in there. I feel connected. I'm happy to work for people who are more quality oriented, who are more value based, and Manish Kemkar is one of them. He said, let's go extra mile, Chris, and also do this, which was further to that extra cost. Now, as a developer, not many people do this. So when I asked him that, why do you do things where there is a little bit extra cost? And he said this, that Gina, if I'm buying myself, what I want to see, if I live here, will I be comfortable? That's what I want to do for my all clients. So these all qualities are not common in developers, and that attracts me the most. That attracts the buyers the most. So whom we are dealing with, whom we are investing in, who is he? That's the most important question we need to ask before we invest. And I think that passes with flying color. So what is my why to be here? What I want to achieve here? What I want to do here? I know that it's Kemkar Capital construction investment and I'm sort of participating in some sort of opportunity. But hey, what is my why? Why? So first, who? Manish, Kemkar and family. We have been closely with the family in last 2 years' time, but the journey has been very organic. Sapna, Manish, and even now Yash is joining the team. So he's getting active. You spend more time with these people, you feel there is trust. You can trust them. When we are giving $25,000, $50,000 to someone, we need to trust the people. And that trust factor is by default. He knows what he is doing. It's the clarity of thoughts. When we negotiate offers, when we talk about the business, he knows exactly what he is doing. And that's what you like, because if people don't have the clarity of thoughts, you feel a little bit shaky. Ethical practices. If he has signed a deal for a lesser price, and later on if he is finding some other buyer putting higher price, oh, is there a way to get out of it? No, he wouldn't do that. I have committed somebody something, I would stick to it. Ethical practices. What needs to be done for development? No shortcuts. Ethical practices. Technical expertise. So he's not doing his first project or second project and coming to us for taking it to a next level, to a scale. He has done quite a few developments before. He has gained that technical expertise, investing his own fund, own equity, and now he wants to scale up. So it's an opportunity for all of us. What is my why? So I know Manish, great guy, we can probably go ahead, no problem. But where? Now Newlyn. Newlyn is a great location. It's western central location. It's kind of a sweet spot. That's how I put it there. It's not too central, it's not too out west. It's very well connected, train station nearby. From this side, Fruitvale station is very close by. It's literally walkable distance. It's close to Hamburg Cafe, Newlyn Shopping Center, amenities are close by. So it's a fantastic location that we are investing in. And first home buyers and investors love brand new. 10 years certified builders guarantee and all. There is peace of mind, there is no problem. It's safe bet to put in. So if you are an investor and you want to put a property in your portfolio, you want to make sure that there are some brand new properties in your portfolio too. Because that's lock up and leave proposition. You don't do maintenance and it's low maintenance, no problem, easy care. So where we are investing 28 Croydon Road, Newlyn, is a fantastic location where I see a lot of growth potential in the coming times. And what? Of course, we are here to invest. So first is safety. I had an opportunity to be part of the journey while things were shaping up. And I have seen the conversations with the accountants and with the lawyers, and I participated myself in few of those. Safety wise, if somebody in New Zealand giving personal guarantee of the investment on top of the property itself as way of security, it's fantastic. It's the most safe bet to put on. He will cover in detail how exactly the safety is gonna provide to all the potential investors. Returns. It's far, far, far better than what bank would offer. So if we have got 25, 50, 100, 200, I don't know, 500, if we are putting it in the bank or something else, is it going to put that sort of number? 10% per annum? No, that's not New Zealand. That's probably Asia we are talking. India we are talking. Timing. Timing is fantastic. So we all know that 2 months ago there was a property trend, and in last 2 months there is another property trend in itself. So it's a great timing, and next year when the project is ready to sell, it's a great time to sell and book the profits. So it's a great timing, and of course the results. So what he has achieved, results for himself, for his family, now he wants to take it to next level and give it to friends and family, to Jain Sangh. And even Jain Sangh, we have this Sadharmik concept, Sadharmik Bhakti, right? We want our people to go up in the ladder. Yeah, why not? I want to put my bets on someone I know well. So it's like, तुम आगे बढ़ो हम तुम्हारे साथ हैं, right? So I think what is my why, who, where, and what, it all ticks the boxes for me personally. How I know the things in detail. Yep. So that's pretty much what I wanted to cover today. I think I wouldn't hesitate to say this, but it's been honor to work with him, to work for him, and I'm sure that given this opportunity, if you grab it, it's a great platform, and it's just a start. So we have a long way to go. Thank you very much for listening to me today, and sorry for taking a little extra time, Yash. Manish, please come on stage and you take the further talks. Thank you.
That was really good, Junaid. Thanks for all those kind words. And I had no input, by the way. You know, in what he said, it was all what he meant. I had no input.
It's all organic.
So, good afternoon, everybody. I heartily welcome you all to this presentation and appreciate you investing your time to know more about this opportunity. Now, many of you know my journey, about my story, my journey in New Zealand, but for those who do not know, let me tell you all in brief. My education, I've done Bachelor's of Commerce, I've done Master's of Business Administration, and I've also done a professional course of Cost and Work Accountancy. I migrated to New Zealand in 2001, and my business journey started 17 years ago. You know, importing genuine antique and antique reproductions into New Zealand. Thereafter, I've done a number of businesses and successfully operated them, thereby learning about sales, business operation, legal aspects of running a business, taxation, accounting procedures. So there was a lot I learned over these 17 years. I moved into property development in 2015. I started my company Desirable Homes Limited, and since then it's been rebranded to Kemkar Construction Limited. My first project was a single lot subdivision in Glendine. While doing this project, I enrolled in Unitec to do a course that was Diploma in Construction Management, majoring in quantity surveying. Since then, I've completed the course and completed a number of projects, thereby gaining valuable experience in the construction industry. Now that's enough about me. Let me tell you about the company. Kemkar Construction's core operation team consists of myself, my son Yash, and my project manager, my mentor, Chris Harris. As you heard Yash mention, he's completed his degree in civil engineering and commerce. And from last year, he's joined Kemkar Group. He's learning about the business from both Chris and myself. Before this, he was also managing his own business successfully, so he's been doing that for the last 3 years. Very mature, dedicated, and focus-driven, and certainly would be a big asset to the Kemkar Group. Chris, what do I say? He's been my mentor, he's been my teacher and project manager. Chris has managed a number of projects. He's managed project at 9 Kaveka Street, Newlyn, 11 Kaveka Street, Newlyn, 2 Morgan's Road, Tuakau, and now he's managing project at 28 Croydon Road in Newlyn. He's a stickler as far as quality is concerned. As Jinai said, there are no shortcuts, and he makes sure that the contractors deliver top-notch quality. One of his finest skills, besides of course building and project management, is his problem solving ability. So if there's a problem on site, I need not worry. I know Chris is going to come up with a solution, and he always does. Chris has extensive experience in building industry. He's been a builder for 40 years. He's a licensed building practitioner with Site 2 license. He's also been a developer himself and has built number of houses in the past. And he's managed number of residential and commercial projects. And of course, he's a lecturer at Unitec. So that's the core team, of Kemkar Group. We've got the skills, we've got the experience, we've got the knowledge. And of course, besides the core team, we have an experienced team of contractors and professionals that we work with. Now, let me give you a bit of information about some of the projects we've done in the past. Of course, my first project was 156 Sebburn Road in Glendine, which was a single lot subdivision. I had to go through a lot of pains for the first one, but it was quite a learning curve. The next project was 9 Kaveka Street. Here we built, it was a 5-lot subdivision. We built 5 standalone houses, 4 and 5 bedroom. Next one was 11 Kaveka Street. Now I'll come back to Kaveka Street. The next one was 2A Morgan's Road to a cow. We've got a contract on it, and hopefully we'll go on conditional soon. So with Kaveka Street, that was our last project that we just completed and sold, and it's settled. We built 5 houses on it, 4 terrace and 1 standalone. 3 were 3-bedroom and 2 were 4-bedroom houses. The smart layout of the houses, the entire development, and attractive color scheme, of course, besides the real good quality of construction, meant that the houses were sold in real short span of time. Now we've got a couple of projects, in the pipeline. 36 King Street, Waiuku. We've applied for resource consent and building consent, and we expect to start the project in February 2021. The next in pipeline is 48 Woodglen Road. It's in the designing stage at the moment, and we're building 8 townhouses on that. They're going to be 2 and 4 bedroom townhouses, and we're expecting that project to start in April or May 2021. Depending on when we get the consents and stuff. Now, after finishing these projects, some of our friends showed interest in investing in the business. They were looking for a channel of investment which will consistently yield good returns, and they found that in property development. And of course, they knew us personally, so that did make a difference as well. So we got this idea of creating a platform which will mutually benefit both the investors and us, and one that we can roll out to our entire network of friends and family and associates. This gave birth to Kemkar Capital. We've done a lot of planning and working out the structure and undertaken a lot of legal work to establish Kemkar Capital and create a synergistic operation that will consistently yield good returns for the investors. Plus, it enables us, to undertake bigger projects, do multiple projects at the same time, thereby enhancing the landscape of Auckland to sustainable development. Kemkar Capital will only seek and utilize funds when they are certain of a project going ahead. So it's only going to be at that stage that would be seeking investment. And in this case, the project that we're looking, we started is 28 Croydon Road in Newland, for which we are seeking investment. So let me reiterate this. We had to go through a lot of, sort of significant legal work, or there's a lot of sleepless nights and a lot of months that the solicitor has had to work on this. And you won't believe the fees that are paid to the lawyers. He'd probably buy a Mustang with that. Now the process, just to give a bit of an idea of how we evaluate a potential property, how we take that decision of buying a property. Obviously the most important factor that we consider is the subdivision potential of the property. How many houses we can build on it. The other thing is accessibility, whether the property's got good access. The services outside are easily accessible. Is the location good? And just putting it in perspective with 28 Croydon Road, when we were looking for a project, and this property was on the market, one of the important things was that it had the consents in place. So it had, all the consents, which meant that we could start with the project as soon as we bought the property, which is what we've done. The second thing was the accessibility. This property has good road frontage. Now that's the artist impression from the front. So it's got a good road frontage and it's an elevated site. So when the development is complete, it's going to look really impressive and the houses are going to have a good view. Third thing that we consider is the services. The services were either on-site or easily accessible. And the location, that's the site, artist impression of the property. And the development, and the location. So it's really centrally located. One of the important things that, dictates the price of the property is the location of the property. How close it is to, the school. Like this property is just a couple of minutes walking distance to Fruitvale Primary School. There are a number of other schools in the vicinity. It's just a few minutes walk to Fruitvale train station and just a few minutes drive to Linmore. So the location is really handy. And that's how, we decided, and of course the layout of, the houses, the layout of the entire development was really good. Now coming to the opportunity, what's in it for you? That's exactly why you all are here, to know what's in it for you, how you are going to benefit. Now that you understand, who we are, what we do, let's get into the reason of why you all are here. We are offering you an opportunity to invest in a property development project, an opportunity that would yield good returns, an opportunity where your money can generate more wealth for you without you having to put in any time or effort into it. So what's the offer? Well, the offer is, the investment that we're going to raise is going to be in the form of redeemable preference shares. So what preference shares is, as per the constitution, the preference shareholders would be paid prior to the equity shareholders or the owners of the company that supplied myself. And it would be redeemable, that is repaid in a certain period of time. This investment that we are seeking is for Croydon Road. The investment period is 18 months. Or it could be redeemed prior once the houses are sold and settled. The preference shares are going to be at a face value of $1 per share, and it's a debt instrument. So this is a debt for the company. The total investment that we are seeking is only $2 million. That's it. So once we raise $2 million, we're going to stop. And we're going to take maximum of 20 investors. So there is a limited number of investors that we're going to take. The minimum investment is $25,000. There is no cap on maximum investment. And the best part, is the dividend. We're going to pay you a fixed dividend of 10% per annum. That's right, you've heard it right, it's gross 10% per annum. And this dividend would be paid to you in quarterly payments. Like each quarter, we would be paying 2.5% dividend. And the dividend would be paid in April, July, October, and January. And once the properties are sold and settled, we would redeem or repay the money along with any unpaid portion of dividend within 30 days of the settlement of the property. Or of course in 18 months' time, which is, the investment period. So let me, just recap this, where, the benefits is that the dividend is 10% per annum fixed. So it doesn't matter how the property market behaves in 6 months' time, whether it goes up or down, you're assured of the dividend. You're assured of the return on your investment. Unlike shares, where, the market's fluctuating and the prices go up and down, you don't have to worry about anything here. And, the return would be paid in quarterly payments, so you're getting a consistent stream of payments or dividend on your investment. At the end of the investment period, people who have invested in 28 Croydon Road will get the first opportunity to invest in our next development project. In today's uncertain times of COVID-19, where people don't know where to invest their hard-earned money, and where the options are limited, in my opinion, this one takes the cake. Because there's a certainty, and I'll tell you about the security. Finally, this opportunity involves no time or effort on your part. Let's just compare this to the returns on term deposits. Now, Jinay just mentioned about term deposits in the bank. Say you invest $100,000 in term deposits for 1 year. The return on your investment is going to be just 1% per annum. That's right, just 1% per annum. That's $1,000 per annum, which is only $2.74 a day. Now you cannot even buy a cup of coffee with that kind of money, and you're investing $100,000. No, I'm not putting down the banks or anything. Of course, we all need banks. They do a great job. But if you have an opportunity or an option where your money can generate better returns, wouldn't you consider that opportunity? That's what we are here for. We are here to present you that opportunity. An opportunity for you to invest in business. An opportunity, can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
An opportunity for you to invest in business. An opportunity for you to invest in property development and generate a good return on your investment. Think wealth, think property, think Kemkar Capital. Now that's the offer once again. It's in the form of redeemable preference shares. Minimum investment is $35,000. There's no cap on maximum investment. The investment would yield a fixed dividend of 10% per annum, which would be paid in every quarter. So every quarter we pay 2.5%, and the investment period is 18 months. Now that I've told you about the offer, I'm sure you would have a few questions in your mind. But before you start asking questions, let me answer some for you. The most important thing
what is the security? Is my money safe? Yes, I want to invest. Is my money safe? Yes. Your money would be safe. Sapna and myself, we are offering personal guarantee. This is a legally enforceable personal guarantee. Now, what does personal guarantee mean? Say Kemkar Capital fails to keep to its commitment of repaying the investors, then Sapna and myself will repay the investors from our personal assets. And you'll find this agreement or the guarantee, personal guarantee that we've given in the subscription form.
Can I have $125,000 on name of
I was expecting a question, I didn't expect that, but yes, sure. So, that's the most important thing from your point of view, is that your hard-earned money is safe. And we are so confident of delivering that we've put up personal assets online and we've got enough assets to repay the investors. The next question, again, that's another safety measure. Oh, sorry, the next one is, once an investor agrees to invest, then when do they have to deposit the funds? Well, you've got to subscribe and deposit by 30th of November 2020. The next important question is, how do we know that the money raised would be used for the purpose intended? Really, really important. I take your money for 28 Croydon Road, but how would you know that I'm using it for Croydon Road? Well, when you subscribe, you don't deposit the money in Kemkar Capital's account. You deposit the money in a solicitor's trust account. So the solicitor holds the money. And we can draw down the money in stages once we give proof of that stage being completed. So it's really important for you to know that we don't have direct access to your money right from the start. So it's safe in solicitor's trust account. And we will only draw down in stages once we get them proof that that stage has been completed. So that's another safeguard measure that I've put in place. Like Jinay mentioned an important point in his presentation, I always think, what would I want if I was in that place? What would appeal me? And that's exactly what I thought when I came up with this is, if I was sitting in that chair, then what would make me invest? How would I know my money is safe? And that's exactly what we've put in place here. The next question, what if we do not raise $2 million? Well, it doesn't matter how much amount we raise here today. The balance of the funds required to complete the project is going to be invested by Sapna and myself as our equity. So regardless of what investment we raise, the project is going to go ahead. In fact, the work has already started. Earthworks are almost complete. The retaining wall work is being done. We are soon going to start with the foundation work. So if any of you all want to, come and have a look or come to site, please feel free to give me a call and you all can come to site. So the obvious question following this would be, if we already have access, to $2 million, why are we raising them? Yes, we can complete the project with our own funds. But we want to develop a platform where we can take people along, grow together. And now is when we're starting. In future, there are going to be bigger projects. There are going to be multiple projects at the same time. And we want to start now so that we both can grow together. four main pillars of business, again, just extending on that point is the team. We've got the team, we've got the experience, we've got the ability, the productivity. Our record shows that we've got, good record in delivering quality homes in a timely manner. The market, you just heard that the market, Auckland, that's ever-growing market, and the shortage of houses. So, we're really confident of selling houses once it's done. And the fourth one is cash. As they say, cash is king. So together, we can prove it that and grow. What's the expected project period? Well, we expect to complete the project in around 15 months and settle the houses. But we've given ourselves an extra 3 months of time for delays caused by factors which are out of our control. Could be weather, council, or nowadays we can say government policies. Who knows the next lockdown? I hope not, but you never know. So that's why we've given ourselves, 18 months period. Once the project is completed, how will the money be repaid to the investors? Well, as I mentioned initially, the issue is for redeemable preference shares. So the banks are paid. Next would be the preferential shareholders. So the preferential shareholders get priority of payment over the equity shareholders. And Sapna and myself, we are at the bottom of the list. So once we pay everyone, then we take our share. I want you to think to yourself when I say the next few sentences and ask yourself if this sounds like you. You've been waiting for an opportunity that fits your goals and lifestyle. You're ready to pull the trigger on this opportunity. Your values and beliefs align with ours. Does that sound like you? If that does, then come and chat with us. If you are 100% on board and we are 100% on board, that's quite important too, that we need to be 100% on board with you too, then let's plan out the next best steps. Now, I've kept some copies, physical copies of the information memorandum here. And if you want a digital copy, then we can email that to you. And so does anyone have any questions? I'm not sure if I've answered all your questions, but if you have any questions, yes?
Where does tax come into it with that 10%?
Good question. The return is gross 10%. So we would be deducting a resident withholding tax and we'll be making the payment. So your accountant or you at the end of the year when you are doing your taxes, that would be taken into account and by IRD while they're calculating your income tax. So when we make the payment, we would be deducting the resident withholding tax and paying it to IRD on your behalf. And each quarter we would, along with this, the dividend that we pay, we would be giving you progress report for the project. So every quarter, you know what the progress has been, over those 3 months, and how the project is progressing, and the timeline and things like that. So we will always keep you informed about the progress of the project. And at the end of the year, for your tax purposes, we will also give you a statement of the dividends paid and the resident withholding tax paid on here. Any other questions? Yeah?
What if you're not taking in the quarterly payments? Does it get reimbursed?
Sorry?
If you're not taking in the quarterly dividends, do you all reinvest it?
No, the quarterly payments would be paid out to you. I mean, there isn't an option of, you're not taking and that being invested again. The way this offer has been structured, it has to be paid out, and, at the end of the project, once we redeem, your principal along with any unpaid portion of investment, unpaid portion of dividend, sorry, that's when you can reinvest in the next project, but it cannot add on or roll on. Any other questions?
Manish,
Yeah.
can you be able to take the money out before the calculating months? If you need to?
Very good question. No, you cannot. No, simple answer is no. You've committed to something, you keep to it. and yes, that is really important to know that yes, you cannot, take out the money once you've invested it. It would be repaid once the houses are sold and settled, or in 18 months' time.
What if the money is more than 100,000? Is it still 10% or it can go up?
It's fixed 10%. Yes. And maybe a bottle of wine.
Just one thing, I'm not sure if you mentioned this, but how are you generating the 10%?
10% is from the profits we make.
But the money is still being deposited in the house.
Yes, the money
isn't it?
is still being deposited, or still being spent,
Spent.
and we haven't, sold the houses. But that 10% that we are paying over the period is from our funds. So as I mentioned, Sapna and myself have, enough funds to fund the project. So it's from those.
So the
funds-
interest from the equity shares?
That's right. So it's from, our investment that we would be paying the dividends.
Thanks.
Hi Manish, I just want to know the legal process, how the lawyers involved, and which way do you need our lawyers as well? I don't know the process.
Excellent, because that was the other thing that I thought to myself, how could I simplify this? Because, nowadays with so much of compliance and laws, regulations around, money laundering and things like that, yes, you all have to go through a solicitor, and you've got to, sign that anti-money laundering form and prove the source of funds and things like that. But what we've done is we've got a solicitor that you can go to, and they can do the entire process for you. So would be one visit, and they would manage all the process of doing the anti-money laundering, whatever checks and things like that. And then, they would give you the account details to make the payment.
Who is that solicitor?
We've got a firm that's, we engaged with, who's gonna do that. And then we can give you all the details, which is also in the subscription form, but can also give you the details once you go down that road. But yes, it would be one solicitor. I mean, of course, if you want to go through your solicitor, that's fine too. But I'm not sure if everyone has a solicitor that, a lawyer that they can go through. And hence, we've sort of tried to simplify this process and have one firm that can, take all that headache rather than, each one looking for their own.
Okay, thank you.
So, yeah, that's it. Any other questions?
The fees of the solicitor?
Yeah, there is gonna be some fees. Again, we've negotiated that fees a lot, so it's gonna be a very minor expense, that you'll have to bear to go through, that check and process. Again, because, we've, the firm that we've engaged, we've told them, that we have a group of people, so we've sort of fixed it to a real minimal, cost that involves, their time and whatever the other expenses, just to cover that. question which I didn't cover, which was good actually. A lot of points that. So yes, if you are genuinely interested in this opportunity, please act fast, as we are only taking a limited number of investors. And finally, thank you everyone for coming to this presentation. It's, I thank you all for being here, and appreciate once again you investing your time to know about this opportunity.
Thank you.
So yeah, if you want physical copies of the information memorandum, it's here in the front, or we can email you a digital copy.